language. What does a person's body language say about them? And give me some examples of body language. Every time I say body language, I think of Ursula in The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of body language. What? The importance of body language. Y'all know the new live action.
I'm just happy about how any of the animals look. Flounder looks bad, Sebastian looks bad, and Scuttle looks bad.
Yeah, they really do.
Addie says no, they don't.
Yes.
I agree with her.
You're outnumbered.
Yeah,
I'm still gonna watch it.
It's
I like how they look.
Okay. I don't really like any of the live action.
Except for
Why did you did like Aladdin? But why do you have to mess up what was already great?
Exactly.
I agree.
I mean, Beauty and the Beast was wonderful. You didn't have to remake it.
They're live
Lion King, wonderful. Didn't have to remake it.
Shrek.
Well, Shrek's not Disney, but and they didn't do a live action.
They did a musical. Period.
They did it.
Hey, go back to sleep, awake boy.
Trash.
I will say that I love Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid came out when I was a kid, and I got to see the girl who played the Little Mermaid. Her name is Jodie Benson, and she was in Crazy for You, which was my very first real live in New York on Broadway musical, and she was wonderful. So I've always loved her. So Little Mermaid has always been special to me. Crazy for You is always special to me. So I'm having a real hard time listening to somebody else sing her songs. It's hard for me. All right, go. Body language. Yeah, you.
Okay. So basically, I think body language is basically it can tell about a person's feelings or like what they feel in their situation. And examples could be slouching, yawning, twitching, and like staring.
Okay. You and I both just did body language. You said me, right? What did you do that was body language? Yeah, this was part of your me, right? Could you have just said me, right? You could have. But this makes it more what?
Direct.
Makes it more direct. It makes it more flamboyant, more interesting. It helps us see and hear. All right, Addie?
I said that body language is how a person uses their body when talking to another person.
Okay.
So an example is when you like hear bad news, you like snap your shoulders and you see your face.
She said slouching, and you said when you hear bad news, they go together. Yep, your face may say it. What did we see in the Mask Maker that did not go together?
Face and body.
Face and body. His face gave me one vibe for body language, and his body gave me a completely different vibe. Sophie.
I kind of said the same thing that Dave did. When body language can tell how a person is feeling. And then one of my examples was like when someone's sad, they're hunched over and may not be looking down.
Y'all like this slouching and hunching over thing, don't you? Y'all are typical middle schoolers. You're like, all right, last one. Somebody I never call on.
That's a good one.
I have a good thing. Fearing. Although you raised your hand first Wednesday, so that's how I knew you were wide awake, was when that hand went in the air.
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, why don't you just read what you wrote? He's looking at it and thinking about it. Did you write anything?
What?
I got
My
nothing.
answer's bad.
My answer's bad. Lillian, what did you write?
I said body language shows that really not a feeling. It's like it's smiling and like happy.
Okay, you were just smiling a second ago. Are you happy this morning? Here's my favorite piece of body language. I ask a question, and this is what you do. What does that tell me?
You
You don't want me to call on you. You don't want to answer, which just screams to me what? I'm calling on you. Okay? I know, I'm so mean. All right, today we are talking about the 5 guidelines. Maybe. Molly was back there playing with my mouse, so now it's all jacked up. There we go. The 5 guidelines of pantomime. I want you to go to your notes section. All you have to do is write guidelines for pantomime. And I'm going to give you number 1. You're going to write down what the guideline is, but you do not have to copy the whole slide. Please don't. Got it? Mm-hmm. Pantomime is an effective and powerful acting skill. Practicing your stage movement and pantomime skills is important. Pantomime should be clearly communicated with simplicity, accuracy, consistency, and exaggeration. There are 4 elements. I lied, it's not 5, it's just 4. There are 4 elements when you learn how to prepare pantomime. Here we go. Number 1, make your scene clear. Make your scene clear. This is very much like me saying if I was going to push on the wall. I mean, who knows what I'm doing here? It almost looks like I'm Harry Potter trying to cast a spell. It doesn't look like I'm pushing on a wall. If I was going to open the lion's mouth like old Marcel Marceau did, and I go, do you know it's a lion? Do you know it's a mouth? Do you know I opened it? No. Make it clear. In pantomime, you should show, not tell, what is happening. You must visualize what is happening yourself, then find a way to project that same thing to your audience. Remember when we sat in the circle the other day and I passed the ball the first time? I told you, I'm visualizing the ball that I used to play jacks with at my grandmother's house. That is how I know exactly what size that ball is supposed to be. Visualization is pretty important. Understanding your scene will help your audience better understand your scene. So you got to know it to be able to project it to your audience. If you want to pantomime brushing your teeth, in your mind's eye, you should see your toothbrush, the size and the shape and the color. You should see the toothpaste, the size, the color, how much you squeeze out, and the movements that you normally make in performing this activity each day, brushing up and down, side to side, spitting in the sink. I promise you, just like we did yesterday, y'all, you were the only one who got to do the getting in the car yesterday, Haley. Nobody else got to do that. But if I had said, okay, pretend like you're brushing your teeth, this is where somebody would have started. Really? So does your toothbrush just magically get toothpaste on it by itself and appear in your hand? No. So you've got to visualize all the different things that you do because you don't think about them on a regular basis. Number 2, exaggerate your facial expression. Facial expression is one of the most important factors in pantomime. If your character is happy, a simple smirk will not do. Number 1, it's not exaggerated at all. Number 2, it's definitely not exaggerated enough to get to the back of an audience. Expression should be amplified to replace your speech because you're not talking. If you could speak during pantomime, you could easily express your character's feelings using your voice, but you're not speaking, so you have to use body language. Number 3, keep each motion precise. When I opened my lunchbox the other day, did I go? No. I was very specific so that you saw exactly how many sides I unzipped. I even moved my other fingers out of the way to make sure that you could see what I was doing. Very, very precise and specific. Make gestures bigger than life. If I was really opening a 3-sided lunchbox, I would not go like an idiot. But you don't know what it is, so I have to exaggerate it and make it precise. In pantomime, objects are almost always involved, but your objects aren't real, they are pantomimes. When real props aren't used, you must understand the 5 qualities of the objects. So how they smell, how they look, how they, not necessarily taste if it's not food, but you use all 5 of your senses. You want to make sure you know what the weight is. We talked about the weight of the ball earlier. The size. You want to know how big it is. Keep it the same size all the way around. The shape, the consistency, and the resistance. Resistance means that your body should be showing exactly how hard you have to pull on something to hold it or to push it or to pull it. You got to show those muscles, those tendons. And number 4, keep your scenes simple but entertaining. So the other day when we were playing with the lunchbox, we talked about how there was something that was too simple and there was something that was too complicated. There's a very fine line in between there. Scenes should be easy for the audience to interpret what's going on. They shouldn't last more than about 3 minutes. We're not going to do anything that lasts 3 minutes. Adding too many details bogs down the scene and confuses the audience. If, when we were playing the Magic Lunchbox game the other day, if I had opened the lunchbox and then unwrapped a cellophane spoon and unwrapped a cellophane fork and unwrapped a cellophane knife and then opened up my spaghetti and poured it on a plate and cut it up and then twirled it and then put some Parmesan cheese on it and then ate it, have I bogged down my scene?
Yes.
Way too much. Somebody got lost by the time that I was unwrapping the cellophane fork. Okay? You got to keep them simple enough that your audience understands them, but give them enough detail that it makes it interesting. Kind of a fine line. Okay. Through movement and expression, you can create a whole world of characters, of objects, and of places in the story with your pantomime. Remember to focus and concentrate using all of your senses so that the audience can see what you are performing. So we're going to watch a couple of little videos today. I typically make people analyze and critique these videos. If you'll pay attention and if you will participate, I won't make you do that. Yes or no? Okay. Somebody turn the lights off even though it's dark. That scares me. Okay, this one is a good one. We are back to I Love Lucy. This is Lucille Ball that you saw yesterday with Harpo Marx doing the little mirror exercise. This is her. She is talking in this scene. So technically, it is not pantomime. There's a reason why I'm showing you this scene, though. See if you can figure out why I'm showing you this scene. And it's probably going to pop up.
Okay, Joe, I'm ready to rehearse the commercial. Where's the girl? She's studying her script. She'll be right in here. Just the new sponsor? Yeah. Not very good. Well, on a date, it's got everything in it. Meat, vegetables, minerals, vitamins. Wonder where she is. Alcohol, 23%. Alcohol, 23%.
Because there's talking, this is not technically, by the rules, pantomime. But watch her face and see why I'm showing you this clip.
Are you the young lady that's going to do the commercial?
Yes, sir.
Well, I want to tell you, the director.
How do you do? I'm Lucille McGillicuddy.
Pretty sure that's how to pick 'em.
Oh, thank you.
You know your line yet?
Well, I think so.
Well, let's run through it.
All right.
All right, stand right over here.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's try it once. And remember, be bright and vivacious.
Yes, sir.
All right. Maura, you stand by on the script, please. All right.
Hello, friends. I'm your vitamin to Benjamin girl. Kind of tired, run down, listless. You put on a party. Are you unpopular? The answer to all your problems is in this little bottle.
Hey, pick up the bottle.
Oh,
Little higher. That's right.
the answer to all your problems is in this little bottle. Vitamin to Benjamin. Vitamin to Benjamin contains vitamins, meat, vegetables, and minerals. Yes, with vitamin to Benjamin, you can spoon your way to health. All you do is take a tablespoonful after every meal.
How do you think so?
Oh. It's so tasty, too. Just like candy.
No,
Okay, so what piece do you think I want you to watch, even though this is not truly pantomime? Abby, say what you just said, Davis. The body language.
Like the stuff, you've got to smile, be happy. Yeah. I'll try it again.
It's so tasty too. Just like candy.
Go, once more.
It's so tasty too. It's just like candy.
Do you look like Abby when you eat candy? No. Yeah, me neither. Did you hear the little sentence at the very beginning when the guy was reading the bottle?
Alcohol.
Yeah, 23 or 28% alcohol, which means as she takes every spoonful, what is she doing? She's drinking more and more alcohol. So how do you think we're going to look in a few minutes?
Buzz.
Thank you.
That's going to be fine. You just go ahead.
Okay. So why don't you join the thousands of happy people and get a great big bottle of Vitamin Vegemin tomorrow? That's Vitamin Vegemin.
Oh, that's fine. Now you've got the feeling. Now I'd like to try it once more, only this time faster and brighter.
Faster and brighter, yes sir.
Hi, Russ. Hello, Ricky. Hi, Lucy. I want to see all that number.
Now, I didn't set this up for you very well, but yesterday I told you that Lucy finds her way into what? Thanks, sir. She finds her way into every commercial, act, show, movie, anything that Ricky's doing, she finds a way to get into it. So she has kind of lied her way into this commercial, and Ricky doesn't know it, and that's why he was surprised to see her there.
What may I ask how you're doing here? Because she's going to do the commercial. She's going to do the commercial. What did you do to the girl that was supposed to be here? Now, Lucy, I told you you couldn't do the commercial. Now, what's the big idea? Lucy, what have you got to say for yourself?
Come on, friends, I'm your Vitamin Vegemin girl. Are you tired? You want a party?
Now, come on, you're going home. Now, wait a minute, Ricky. It's too late to get anybody else. Besides, she's pretty good. Oh, sure. No, I mean that. Listen to her. You go ahead, Miss McGillicuddy.
She used her maiden name instead of her married name.
Miss McGillicuddy.
Hello, friends. I'm your Vitamin Vegemin girl. Are you tired, run down, listless? Do you go out at parties? Are you unpopular? The answer to all your problems is in this little bottle. Vitamin Vegemin. Yes, Vitamin Vegemin contains vitamins, meat, vegetables, and minerals. Yes, with Vitamin Vegemin, you can spoon your way to health. All you do is take a big tablespoonful after every meal. It's so tasty, too. Tastes just like candy. So why don't you join the thousands of happy people and get a great big bottle of Vitamin Vegemin tomorrow? That's Vitamin Vegemin.
All right, what is the most expressive part of her body? Her eyes. They say an awful lot without saying anything at all, right?
Mhm.
So again, not technically pantomime, but I did want you to see all of her exaggerated motions. You stay in your one home, buddy.
Huh?
You stay in your one home.
I'm going.
Hey, feel better, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Her eyes are what really do it for her. All right, this is a fantastic one. Anybody know who Mr. Bean is?
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Bean is also the voice of Zazu in Lion King. So even though you don't hear his voice very often, you know his voice. This is an excellent pantomime. No words spoken, so we are truly in pantomime.
Some days.
Sorry.
Mommy.
actually, I find mime more impressive and taking more talent. Tell me about that one. What?
And I have my own opinion.
You have your own opinion? You can keep light off. Tell me your own opinion.
Well, I played a little bit of piano and it made me really mad because of how inaccurate it was. But other than that, I feel like it's kind of easy.
Okay, tell me about how inaccurate it was.
It's just looking at what he plays, the coordination, it wasn't there. He wasn't playing the right chords, which you can't expect him to, but.
Could you play the right chords without the actual keyboard?
I know, definitely not, but there were times where he would be playing like notes on the lower half and would be up on the upper half on the
Okay.
What are you doing?
Well, interestingly, he actually plays piano. Do you think very many people saw what you saw? I don't think very many people saw what you saw. Because, why?
Because they don't.
How many of you play piano? Very few of you. Look at how few hands are up. Very few people could even recognize that. Now, what I did like was his timing. That took a lot of practice. I'm not talking to you. That took a lot of practice. Was there a little bit of a story there? It wasn't a huge story, but what was the story? He sits down to play and it doesn't play one.
He's not pushing down on the key.
It wasn't open. He got ready to play and the piano wasn't open. And so he looked down and he peeked up under there and he's like, oh, silly me. And he opens it. Now, then we see some slow stuff happen. What prompts him to get faster? He looks at his watch. Oh my goodness, I gotta go. And so we go faster. So there was a little bit of a storyline there, even though he never said a word. And again, so many of you have picked up on the fact that pantomime uses music more often than mime does. I'm not saying it's a hard rule, but they use it a whole lot more than mime does. Anything else that you liked or didn't like? I do like what you had to say, Christiana. Anybody else? No? Yes. Oh, you're yawning. Okay. This is one of my favorite ones. This is not somebody who gets paid for this. This is an amateur who is doing some pantomime at a competition. Okay, so while this is about a topic that is not funny at all, has he taken something serious and made light of it?
Yes.
Was there a story? Oh, there was a good story. A very good story. Now, did there seem like there was much of a story at the very beginning? I didn't know why he was going to work. I didn't care. I didn't know why he was writing a letter. I didn't care. When did all of those things become clear?
When he went to the top.
When he went to the top and we figured out what he was doing. All of those things became clear. Did he have very clear motions?
Yes.
Very clear. When he pulled those keys out of his pocket and he made sure he was showing us exactly what the key was. Now, if I was in my car, I would have to use a completely different key. Do you use a completely different key in your car? I have keyless ignition. Always. Yes, thank you. I have keyless ignition. So as long as my key is in the car, I don't have to put it in to start the ignition. What do?
You just have to press
I
that.
step on the brake, I push a button. So I wouldn't have had to put my keys back in my pocket or anything that he did. What do you think he was doing those things for? The benefit of the audience, okay? Making it clear. He changed gears. What kind of car was he in?
Stick shift.
He was in a stick shift, but it was an old car. Why do I know that? He had to roll down the window to adjust his mirror and then roll the window back up. Nobody in here has probably ever rolled down a window like that. Anybody? You have? Okay, just a precious few people. Also, I don't adjust my mirrors like that. What do I do to adjust my mirrors? There's a little button over there, and I can make it go all the button. So that was clearly an old car. He gave us so many details. Amazing. I hope he won the competition. I don't know if he did or not. I hope he won the competition. Again, that is not a funny topic, but he has made light of something that is normally serious. in a pretty funny way. All right, last one. Okay, this is a real mime. He's not going to speak. He is not going, he's in white face, classic mime. This guy reminds me, I think this is him, may not be. One of these guys reminds me so much of Marcel Marceau. Watch his expressions, watch what he does. Alright, what is different about his work than anybody else's work that we have seen? Yeah,
He interacts with the audience.
so can he do something choreographed?
No.
Why?
Like,
He doesn't know what the people are gonna do, he doesn't know who's gonna come through there, he doesn't know anything. One of my favorite things that he does later, we didn't get this far, is this bald man passes him, and he looks at the bald head and the lady behind him, and he scoops up some hair off of her head and tries to sprinkle it on his head. He doesn't know what's coming through there. So he has to do everything not only as a mime, but also with a lot of improv. Okay? All right. Monday, you are going to be doing Fancy Monday. Have a fantastic weekend. Cody, Sharon, please. Yes.
I sent you, 2 stories, you must know what I did.
Okay, I have flagged them and I'm checking them tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you, baby.
Please.